Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Katie Harden.
If you take a look behind me, it looks like that's snow on the roadway. It's actually ice, and that seems to be the story that we're hearing from across the east. We have a lot of our viewers chiming in this morning on our Facebook page, sharing with us what they're seeing in their neck of the woods. You are our eyes and ears across the east, so we love to hear from you. We are still working to find out additional details on exactly what happened here at this home between Aiden and Grifton. Now, what we do know is that we were told by investigators that a son shot his father here last night. We do also know that 2 other people were at the home at the time of the shooting, and that the father was taken to Vidant Medical Center in critical condition with life-threatening injuries. The best way to describe Greenville right now is a big slushy mess. The good news, Ryan, is yes, everyone got out of the home this morning safely, including the dog that lived here, so that's very good news. The bad news, though, is that this home is a total loss. Yesterday, the roads were treacherous before the sun even set. We heard from the Greenville Police Department that they responded to over 70 accidents yesterday. Again, the Pitt County Sheriff's Office responding to accidents overnight. Luckily, we're hearing that none of those accidents resulted in injuries, but if you take a quick look behind me, you can see that this driver here must have had a little bit of trouble on the road. We're here on Fire Tower Road in Greenville, where we can see that there are track marks where the car skidded into the ditch. So Maria saying highly damaged, just putting it nicely. If you take a look behind me, it's sort of difficult to see right now in the dark, but I can see directly from the front of the house to the back of the house because of the extent of the damages here. Passengers on a Delta flight from Atlanta to Raleigh were forced to exit the plane on the tarmac at RDU after a bomb threat was made on social media. It certainly is a sad day for the sports world, and especially our state, with the passing of Dean Smith. Overcrowding and pet surrenders at animal shelters across the country have left dogs like this homeless. But there is hope. These dogs have a new home. It's just 615 miles away. It's a long way home for Penelope and her 7 puppies, who are going from Wilmington all the way to Florida. One local pilot is stepping up, all for a good cause. We'll have that story Monday on Good Morning Carolina.
You guys.
Well, you know, very uninformed guess here. I'm going to say probably Seahawks and Patriots. And my reason for that is I only know players on those 2 teams. The other teams, I have no clue. We shared that, and we saw a lot of athletes across the country sharing their personal experiences with Coach Smith today as well. So again, that's on your Facebook page if people want to go take a look at that. Very, very neat to see.
Are you a treadmill user?
No, I like the elliptical, but my favorite thing is to see stuff like that. That's the only time I want to hear about your workout. Or when I want to see your workout on social media is when you have a blender like that.
Right,
Otherwise,
we don't need Instagram pictures and tweets about,
Nope. But stuff like that, you can definitely share with us. I'd love to see that.
Andy Gallagher is the Turtle Man. He travels the region showing off his prehistoric pets.
I play with turtles all day. I don't have grandchildren, so I get to play with everybody's grandchildren and have a blast all day long. It's a good job.
Okay, so they're not really turtles. The gentle giants are actually African land tortoises, and they are often sold as pets. Gallagher takes his 8 tortoises to grassy locations and lets people pet and play with them for free. He says for him, it's not about the money. Instead, he would rather spend time with his shelled sidekicks and educate some people in the process. This is one of Randy's many tortoises, James. Right now, James is only about 30 pounds, but he has the potential to be between 400 and 600 pounds. I don't know if I'll be able to pick him up then. The rotund reptiles often draw a big crowd, sometimes attracting up to 2,000 people a day.
We were like, let's stop and see what the deal is, and we thought it was just one, but then there's 7 or 8 of them, so he's huge.
These are big boys.
Gallagher says his mission is to show people something they may not see often and teach children a lesson of love.
I would love to see kids with a little more patience and parents help them along as far as learning how to handle things of a lesser stature than what they are.
Here we go. This is a North Carolina puppy mill.
The cries are deafening. Animals in need of help, but nothing can be done until the conditions are extreme. After an anonymous tip, the Brunswick County Sheriff's Office and the Humane Society of the United States was brought to this, a puppy mill in Leland that has over 100 dogs in its facility. Kim Album with the Humane Society of the United States gave us a tour of a breeding facility in Brunswick County that housed 159 dogs. The filth behind Fido. This is the true story of puppies bred for profit.
This is what the general public buys. The general public that bought from this breeder bought a puppy that was born in this room.
Album says the living conditions of these dogs were so bad they were able to move forward with the bust, but that's not usually the case. North Carolina does not have any legislation on puppy mills, so productions like this are only illegal when the conditions are at the worst.
There is absolutely no rules or regulations for breeders that sell to the general public. You only have rules if you sell to research labs or pet stores.
That means no licenses, no inspections, no regulations, just profit for breeders. Album says practices like this give responsible breeders a bad name.
Breeders like this put a stigma on dog breeders. We have wonderful, responsible breeders in North Carolina, but look at this. Look at this. How do you know? How do you know if you're looking online that you're not getting this?
These dogs were lucky. They were removed and taken to facilities across North Carolina to be adopted by loving homes. Other pups won't be as fortunate. Right now, Senate Bill 460 is the only proposed legislation placing some regulations on breeders, but that bill stalled out in the House in the 2009-2010 session. Representative Carolyn Justice says with puppy mills like this popping up across the state, she thinks the bill may receive new life in the next session and hopefully will pass, putting pressure on breeders like this. Album says she sure hopes so, because situations like this never get easier.
I know! You are out of here! Woo! You are out of here!
In Leland, Katie Harden, WWAY News Channel 3.
A Wilmington company says it may get a little freaky in the Shark Tank on Friday.
Wilmington-based Freaker USA is heading to the ABC primetime show Shark Tank. The comfy bottle sweaters keep your hands dry and your drinks cold. But where did the contraption that fits every can come from?
It somehow magically from a knitting group turned into cutting up old sweaters, turned into having this thing that we now call Freaker that fits everything and keeps your drinks cold.
Freaker co-owner Zach Crane says the drink insulator has been infiltrating the Cape Fear for several years. Now the invention is getting some national attention, but don't confuse it with a koozie.
The Freaker is different from a normal koozie in the way of a normal koozie is, for one, it's no fun, it's bulky, silly advertisements, and only fits one thing, where a Freaker is fun designs, lifestyle-y, stretches, fits on everything.
No kidding, this thing can stretch, and each design is different, so there's one for every style. Crane cannot say much about his pitch on the Shark Tank, but he does say he thinks his product has potential.
It was something, I don't even know what I can even say on what it was like to do it, but I had a good time.
Good, okay.
It felt good in my heart.
So you'll have to stay tuned to see how far the Freakers go. In Wilmington, Katie Harden, WWAY News Channel 3.